Welcome parents and seniors of the class of 2022. In this series of videos, we will be giving you information about your senior year. This is the first in a series of 4. Our objective with these videos is to help you and your parents have a common college-going language, that you will be able to participate in effective communication regarding the college-going process, and that you can provide support for each other during this time. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce you to our counselors. We have a few new additions this year. We're welcoming Deanna Chappell as our counselor for students with the last names A through D. Tara Roddy will continue working with our students whose last names begin with E through K. Bree Hagerman will also be continuing with her group of students whose last names begin with L through R-E. And we're welcoming Mary Ahern with students whose last names begin with RH through Z. This is the College and Career Center blog, and you can use the web address that's right there to get to it. I encourage you to sign up for notifications and to subscribe to the blog so that you can get information, timely information about scholarships, events that are happening at the high school, and college admission sessions. I'd like to ask you to stretch your brain about what you think the definition of college is. Many of us will agree that college includes community college. But did you also know that college can include the military and trade school? Both of these provide specialized training for a person to do skilled jobs. In the case of the military, many of the skilled labor jobs that they can provide will translate into civilian life after a student is done with their obligation. And trade school spends many years teaching someone a valued trade. And so both of those count as college. And then we also have the one that most of us think of when we say college, is that traditional 4-year university. The one exception to this is when your student is completing the FAFSA or the ORSA and the question asks if their parent has completed college. What they're truly asking is if their parent has completed a 4-year degree. So if on the FAFSA or ORSA your parent has gone to the military and trade school but not completed a 4-year degree, you would say no, even though we all will agree that these 4 options all constitute college. This is a quick overview for the document called the FAFSA to give you a little bit of more information about what the FAFSA is and how it can help you and your student.
If you're interested in financial aid for college or career school, you're going to need to fill out the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA. It takes most people about 30 minutes to complete online, and the best part, it's 100% free, and it provides you with access to grants, loans, and work-study funds from the federal government. And many colleges and states use FAFSA information to provide their own college or state financial aid. Before you fill out the FAFSA, it's a good idea to create your FSA ID, a username and password that lets you electronically sign your FAFSA and gives you access to various websites related to federal student aid. And here's an important tip. If your parent is providing information on your FAFSA, he or she will need his or her own FSA ID. Visit studentaid.gov/FSA ID for more information. Your FAFSA can be completed online at FAFSA.gov, and help is provided throughout the online application process. You will need to fill out the FAFSA each year you are in school because your financial situation may change. Plus, you may be able to automatically transfer your tax data from the IRS, making the application even quicker to fill out. Each state and college or career school sets its own deadline for the FAFSA, so it's best to get it done early. Since some of the funds are available on a first-come, first-served basis, you don't want to miss out. Now that you know about the FAFSA, you might be asking, well, how much money will I get? Your college or career school will do the math, and there's a simple formula that they use. First, the college takes your cost of attendance, which is the total amount it will cost you to go to that school. Your cost of attendance will vary from school to school. Then, the college subtracts your expected family contribution, or EFC. Your EFC is based on information provided in your FAFSA and will not change based on the school you attend. However, the EFC is not necessarily the amount of money you'll have to pay. Basically, your cost of attendance minus your EFC equals your financial need. Your college uses your financial need and other information to determine how much financial aid you can receive. See? Pretty simple. If you have questions or need more information, please visit studentaid.gov.
For many of our students that do not qualify for FAFSA, they will qualify for the ORSA. So we'd like to give you an overview of that one as well. Please join me in watching this video.
Let's talk about the Oregon Student Aid Application, ORSA, and 5 tips to complete it. By filing the ORSA, you can get money to help pay for college. The ORSA is an alternative to the free application for federal student aid, FAFSA. The ORSA collects financial and other information from students and families to determine your eligibility for financial aid. When you file the ORSA, you're applying for the Oregon Opportunity Grant, the largest need-based state-funded grant in Oregon. File the ORSA if you're a college student or high school senior currently living and studying in Oregon. The ORSA is only for undocumented students in Oregon, including students with Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA status. Here are 5 quick tips to complete the ORSA. The ORSA opens in early October. File it as soon as possible each year. This will increase your chances of being awarded the Oregon Opportunity Grant and other financial aid. Every student must electronically sign the ORSA. Most students under age 24 also need a parent to e-sign the ORSA. You and your parent must use different email addresses to create your ORSA accounts. Make sure when you're done with the ORSA, your application status says completed. You can log into your ORSA account or contact OSAC to double-check. The ORSA is the first step to apply for financial aid. You can apply for other opportunities by completing additional applications, including the Oregon Promise Grant and OSAC scholarships. Make sure you're aware of all deadlines. Start the process early. If you need help logging in or completing the ORSA, OSAC staff are here to help. Support is secure and confidential. Now you're ready to file the ORSA. Visit OregonStudentAid.gov to get started.
And while the ORSA does have online help, you do also have access to myself and Mr. Josh, and both of us can help you complete either the FAFSA or the ORSA. Does filing the FAFSA or ORSA really help me? And the quick answer is yes, it does. Here are some typical myths about filing for financial aid. Many students will say my grades aren't good enough, and really there are scholarships out there that are not based on your grades. So please fill out the FAFSA or the ORSA. Another one is we don't have our taxes done yet. The nice thing is that we don't use the current tax year. For those of you who are graduating in 2022 and planning on attending college or thinking about attending college in the fall of 2022, you actually will be using the taxes from 2020. So hopefully those are already done. If not, we gotta get them done soon. The FAFSA is too hard to fill out. Well, you have myself and Mr. Josh available to help you, and I promise it won't be too hard. We will be there to help you finish it. My parents make too much money is one of our number one things that we will hear. And again, just like grades, there are many scholarships out there not based on financial need. So it's important to fill out the FAFSA so that you have all the opportunities available to you and you don't eliminate opportunities that you could have had. Some things to think about the FAFSA. It is a free application. That's the number, that first letter in it, F is for free. So if someone is asking you to pay money to help you complete the FAFSA, then please don't take that offer. Please come have Josh or myself help you, or a number of other organizations that will offer free aid. The FAFSA is used by states and schools for financial aid programs. So it is important regardless of what type of school you're going to, many of them will use it. You can get the form in English and in Spanish. It takes approximately 30 minutes to complete both the FAFSA and the ORSA. For the FAFSA, you will need your social security number. For the ORSA, it's not necessary. You will need a permanent resident card potentially for the FAFSA or the ORSA. And you will need to use your 2020 tax records and your 2020 W-2. And you can fill with estimated values, but in order to make it final, it needs to be exact values. The best thing is to use the import tool from the IRS if you're eligible, and that will make it less likely that you will be selected for a process called verification. Each person, each student and parent needs to complete an FSA ID. If you are a student who is not living with your parent, go ahead and let Mr. Josh and I know, and we will help you figure out how to navigate that. The FSA is done once and used every year. So you create a login and you use the same one every year. The FAFSA and the ORSA are completed each year you're going to attend college. There are 3 types of information that both of these forms collect. They collect personal information, your name, where you live, things like that, your financial information, and your parents' personal and financial information. There are online chat features for both forms, and you can list up to 10 colleges to send your information to so that you can get letters of financial aid information from those colleges. Avoid these common errors. The FAFSA, again, is free. So if someone's asking you to pay to complete the form, please don't go through that site. It's taking your money when it shouldn't be. Double check your name, your birth date, and your social security number. Your social security number is the only thing we can't fix. So if you complete a form and you misput your social security number, we will have to start over. Double check the school year is 2022-2023 because we're applying for the school year coming, not the current year. Now, if you're an early graduate graduating in January, then we will need to complete both the current FAFSA and the coming FAFSA. You want to file as close to October 1st as possible, but not before because you won't be able to access the current form. You're going to use actual 2020 tax information. Most people will be able to use the IRS data retrieval tool, but if you can't, we can help you request a tax transcript. If you have the option and it asks you if you would like to consider work study, say yes. It's only opening an opportunity. It's not committing you to anything. So work study is sometimes schools are big enough they can give you a work study without the financial aid piece, and some schools are small enough that they can only give work study to students who qualify for financial aid. So please say yes, and then we can talk about the process of actually getting a work study if you would like one. Males between the age of 18 and 25 must sign up for selective service if they would like to receive federal aid. It is a law that we sign up for selective service, but if you don't do it, aid will be cut off as soon as you turn 18. So on the FAFSA, there's a spot where you can check mark it and the FAFSA will sign it up for you. Up to you. All right, this is what the landing page for the FAFSA looks like. So most of you will have not completed a FAFSA before, so you will click right here on Start Here. Once you click on that, and you can find it at fafsa.ed.gov. And here is where you will find where you can change the form into Spanish if you prefer seeing it in Spanish. This is what it will look like when you click on create login or create an account. And those of you who are new to FAFSA who've never done it before will create an account right here. That would be the majority of our seniors. This one is located at, also you can get to this one at fsaid.ed.gov. And this is where you will create your FSA ID to begin with. This is the initial part of your FSA ID form. So this is what it would look like. And then this one is going to give a video talking about how to determine your dependency status.
When you fill out the FAFSA, you'll be asked several questions that will determine whether you are an independent or dependent student. This is an important distinction because if you're a dependent student, then you need to include your parents' financial information on your FAFSA. This means that your parents' financial information will be considered along with your information to determine your eligibility for federal student aid. So how do you figure out if you're an independent or dependent student? Generally, if you are a graduate student, on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces, a veteran, are married, have children whom you support, or are 24 or older, then you are considered an independent student. If you don't meet any of these criteria, then you're likely considered a dependent student and will have to provide your parents' financial information when completing the FAFSA. If you have a different living situation, including divorced parents or living under the care of a grandparent or other relative, the online FAFSA will provide guidance to help you answer the parent questions. In other special circumstances, your status may not be as easy to determine, and you'll need guidance from the financial aid office at the college or career school you plan to attend. Some common questions that people often ask are, what if the FAFSA tells me I'm a dependent student, but my parents don't claim me on their taxes, or I've moved out of their house and am financially independent? While these situations do arise, they aren't part of the criteria for independent status on the FAFSA, so you would still be required to report your parents' financial information on the FAFSA. What if I'm considered a dependent student, but have no contact with my parents or access to their information? There are other options available to you in these situations, so it is possible for a dependent student to submit the FAFSA without parental information. If you have indicated on your FAFSA that you cannot contact your parents or access their financial information, you'll need to speak to staff at the financial aid office at the college or career school you plan to attend. The financial aid staff will tell you what to do next. So what if my parents aren't going to help me pay for college and refuse to provide information for my FAFSA? If this is the case, the only federal aid you may be able to receive will be an unsubsidized loan, which is a federal student loan that begins accruing interest as soon as you receive your funds. To find out whether you can get the loan, fill out your FAFSA and then speak to the financial aid staff at the college or career school that you wish to attend. If you have any other questions regarding financial aid, your college or career school will be able to answer them for you, and, if appropriate, make a decision about your dependency status. Their decision is final and cannot be appealed to the U.S. Department of Education. No matter your dependency status, make sure to complete the FAFSA to find out what federal money you can get for college or career school. If you have questions or need more information, please visit studentaid.gov.
So if you are a student or family that has a special circumstance, please check in with myself or Josh, and we will help you determine what steps can be taken and how you're going to be filing. This next video talks a little bit about what happens after you complete the FAFSA.
So, you filled out the FAFSA. Now what? The information you submitted will be processed by the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, and the colleges or career schools you listed will be notified so they can begin their process of awarding aid. The great thing about filling out the FAFSA online is that you can check its processing status immediately. This comes in handy when you're thinking, I wonder if it went through. Within a few days of filling out the FAFSA, you'll get your Student Aid Report, or SAR. You'll hear that abbreviation again, so just remember, your SAR is your Student Aid Report. Basically, it summarizes all of the information you submitted on the FAFSA. You can access your SAR online at FAFSA.gov using your FSA ID, which is your username and password. Check your SAR for any mistakes. Then make corrections if you need to, but only if you estimated your tax information or provided incorrect information the day you filled out the FAFSA. On your SAR, you'll see reference to your EFC, or expected family contribution. This number is used to determine your eligibility for federal student aid. It doesn't mean you actually have to contribute that amount. The financial aid office at each college or career school you list on your FAFSA will receive your information. Each office will then use your FAFSA information to determine how much aid you can get at that school. It's possible that your college or career school may require you to verify the information you submitted on your FAFSA. If that happens, your school will tell you what you need to do. Once you're accepted into a college or career school, you'll get an award letter from the school's financial aid office that explains the aid being offered to you. We'd recommend comparing award letters from multiple schools. That way you can make the best decision for your situation. If you have any questions about your financial aid offer, contact the school's financial aid office. If your aid offer includes a federal loan and you're a first-time borrower, there are a few more steps before you get your loan. You'll need to complete entrance counseling and sign the Master Promissory Note, or MPN, which is your agreement to pay back the loan. Your school will provide you with the necessary information. So how do you get your money? Well, usually your grants and loans will be applied to tuition, fees, and other charges on your student account first. Then any leftover money is paid to you. Work-study funds are earned throughout the term. Remember, filling out the FAFSA is not a one-time thing. You must complete it every year you attend school. If you have questions or need more information, please visit studentaid.gov.
So even though you'll know what your EFC is, you won't know for sure what your college will be allowed to offer you until March or April. That's when they typically will send out their financial aid package letters. And so don't let the EFC scare you off. Please continue to apply to colleges. You may be pleasantly surprised to see information about what you can get from a school for financial aid. Remember that we have a FAFSA and ORSA clinic on October 6th. It will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. in the Media Center at Willamette High School, where you and your parent or you and your student can come and we can help you complete the FAFSA or the ORSA as long as you bring your financial documents. Remember, that's your Social Security number, your 2020 taxes, or your 2020 taxes and your 2020 W-2. And for students who don't have a Social Security number, we need still the tax information and we can see about helping you complete other financial aid processes. Thank you for watching this video and the videos embedded in it. If you have further questions, please join us on Wednesday, September 29th at 6:30 p.m. And please continue and watch the other 3 remaining videos. Thank you.